Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Class number 20 of 21 on the Conquest of Azeroth Alpha. Today we are doing the Knight of Zorath. Let's go ahead and go over the abilities at level 1 so we know what we're working with. Meat Cleaver, melee range instant, 5-second cooldown, deals amount of physical damage to an enemy and grants you 1 stack of Deathfire, generates 20 rage. Herald of War, 20-second cooldown, generates 2 rage every 3 seconds, and increase your armor penetration rate by 30% of your strength. In addition, reduce the cooldown of your Meat Cleaver and Meat Saw abilities by 33%. Lasts until canceled. Only 1 Herald effect can be active at a time. Shares a cooldown with other Herald effects. The passive this class gets at level 1 is Lord of Brimstone. Increase your Shadow and Fire spell power by 30% of your strength. So, Herald of War, increasing your armor penetration by 30% of your strength is going to be ludicrously busted at max level. I can't even begin to fathom how powerful that will be in higher level gear that actually has armor pen on it already. But let's keep grinding here. Let's see what this class looks like at level 1. I mean, 13 damage with a white weapon and then 25 with the ability. Not too bad. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pop a potion of experience here, grind out to maybe about level 10, level 12, head over to RFC yet again, and see what this class looks like at higher levels. Just to give you guys an idea of how disgusting this actually is, I want you to see this. 67% armor penetration at level 3. I have 37 strength. I know that is vastly skewed because of my low level, but the fact that they have that at such low level is insanity. I can't even imagine how strong it's gonna be. I would imagine with proper raid setup, full buffs, everything going, enchants on your gear at like level 60, 70, and 80, God forbid when we get into Wrath of Lich King with more armor penetration on gear, I would imagine Knights of Zorath are gonna have upwards of 250 or 300% armor pen and do exponentially more damage than any other melee. Like, I don't know how it's gonna feel leveling with it, but I can already tell that's probably gonna be a problem for later. So I might wanna tune that down just a bit. All right, so we are level 12. We are in RFC. Let's go ahead and go over the abilities that we've unlocked since we last checked in at level 1. So we've actually unlocked quite a few abilities, which I'm very happy with. I'm always glad when abilities unlock at pretty rapid rates early game because it gives you just so many more buttons to press, makes the gameplay feel so much more active and engaging. So I'm really glad they did that. So let's go over the abilities so far. So we got Infernal Strike, deals 80% weapon damage to a target. If the target is affected by Flames of Zorath, this ability deals additional fire damage. Every third use, within 30 seconds, will call down a Molten Hell Rain, dealing fire damage to enemies in the area for a short time. The ability in question is Flames of Zorath, instant melee range, 15-second cooldown. You consume your Deathfire stacks to breathe a cascade of Hellfire upon your foes. Inflicts fire damage to enemies in a cone in front of you, slowing their attack speed by 40% and spell haste by 30% for 10 seconds. Damage is increased by 40% per stack consumed. This is a buff we get, 20-second cooldown, instant increase your attack speed by 40%, and heals you for 2% of your maximum health every 1 second for 5 seconds. Also performs an additional effect upon all enemies depending on your active pestilence, which we will get to in just a minute. Flay Corpse, 0.5-second cast, consume the target corpse, healing you for 2% of your maximum health every 1 second for 5 seconds. Once a corpse is been flayed, it can't be flayed again. Not usable on mechanical elemental creatures or players. I gotta say, at first I thought this was kind of stupid. You didn't really heal a whole bunch, but if you are diligent in the open world, this will keep you topped up at pretty much full HP if you're very diligent about using it every time you kill something. Got lots more reading to do, so stick with me. Herald of Defiance, 20-second cooldown, increased threat generated by physical, shadow, and fire attacks by 50% and allows your Hellish Rebuke to trigger 2 additional times. Increases your parry rating and block rating by 30% of your strength, lasts until canceled. Casting Hellish Rebuke while this is active will also grant you 15% reduced damage taken and a further 10% reduced fire damage taken for 5 seconds. In addition, when you take damage, you will generate 5 rage. This effect cannot occur once more than a second. 1 Herald effect can be active at a time. Shares a cooldown with other Herald effects. Whew, that was a lot. Luckily, the second one is not as bad. It's Herald of War, so one we got at level 1, not too bad. Pestilence of War is the one we just unlocked at level 12. Instant 8-second cooldown, 50 rage. You summon the Pestilence of War upon yourself for up to 30 seconds, leeching small amounts of health from nearby enemies for 3 seconds. This effect cannot affect more than 5 enemies each tick. Using Hellscream or consume this Pestilence to instantly leech a large amount of health from enemies within 10 yards. based on your strength. Only one pestilence may be active at a time. Oh, that was a lot of reading. So basically, the Knight of Zorath is you are invoking the four horsemen of the apocalypse. You have fire blades, you have Pestilence of War, you have, you know, corpse grab. You've got all these different banners. I mean, we got Defiance, we got War, now we got Pestilence. Really, really cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see what this looks like at level 12 against these elites. Now I'm using a one-hander because the wing blade one-hander with a 3-weapon enchant pretty much dominates any two-hander you can get at this level. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Let's use our buff. Get a stack of that. Go ahead and do that. I want to see what this Pestilence of War would look like. Okay. Damn. Okay, I got beat my face in. Let's try this. Okay, let's make sure our Herald is up. Let's try this again. I thought I'd be able to flame my own corpse. That'd be funny. Let's get the Pestilence up. Let's do that. Fire. Fire again. Am I gonna have enough? Ooh. Just enough to kill him. Not too bad. Definitely not as strong as some of the other classes, but we're gonna keep grinding here. Maybe have to go back into the open world for once, but we'll see. Once we unlock some of our better gear down here, I don't think it's really gonna be a problem. We'll check in at about level 18 when we get to Wailing Caverns. All right, guys, we made it back to Wailing Caverns with the Knight of Zorath. We are level 19, rocking and rolling. It has been pretty enjoyable. I want to say the class definitely does a lot of damage. A lot of damage, maybe not so much, just like consistent output of damage. It's very steady. It can be a little combo if you get a couple good crits and that fire spell goes off. But overall, it just feels like you're consistently dealing damage, which is really, really fun. Let me go and kill this guy really quick so we can go over the abilities that we were able to unlock since last time we checked in. Nothing insanely overpowered, nothing insanely broken, just really consistent, which is very enjoyable. I'm glad it's just like a consistent, good melee class. Let's go over the abilities we got. I believe we didn't have Hellish Rebuke, 20-second cooldown. Surround yourself with a fiery shield. The next time you take damage, you will unleash a blast of hellfire upon enemies with 100 yards. That might be mistyped. That seems ridiculous. Dealing fire damage. Not too bad. The other one I got is Snarl. Kind of a dumb name, but all right. That seems like it would be, I don't know, little cheesy, but all right. 12-second cooldown. Taunts the target. Increase your threat generation by 100% for 6 seconds. That seems insane. Imprison, 1 minute cooldown, banish an enemy, preventing all actions, but making it invulnerable to all spells and attacks for up to 20 seconds. Only one target can be banished at a time. If you imprison a non-elite demon, you trap its soul, causing it to be resummoned by your Hell Gate Ritual spell. Fails on exceptionally powerful demons. Haven't gotten that one yet. And I believe the one we just unlocked was Mutual Agony. Yes. 40-second cooldown instant. You afflict the target with a demonic curse, causing 30% of all damage dealt to your allies within 10 yards of the target to be dealt to them as well. Lasts 8 seconds. Seems like it would be very, very powerful on fights, maybe like in Hakar in ZG, where he does a bunch of AoE damage. If you can get that off right before he does it, he could take a crazy amount of damage. But if I remember right, someone's telling me this is bugged. So let's see if it actually is. Let's go ahead and inflict him with Mutual Agony. It does not look like it's actually working at the moment, which kind of stinks. That would help speed up the leveling process pretty well. I mean, 30% more damage you take going to them would be pretty sweet. I mean, so far, it's good. It's a little on the cheesy side, which is okay. If they're trying to go for, like, you know, the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, okay, I understand they want the fantasy. It kind of feels more just like a elemental warrior to me, more like a what's that spell from Zealadin's in D2, but not Zealadin, Vengeance, but just like a fire vengeance paladin kind of. It doesn't really invoke Apocalypse to me. If I was thinking of like Apocalypse, the fire does lend to it a little bit, but I would be wanting to running around on horses, inflicting plagues on stuff, putting patches of scorched earth, summoning the undead, stuff like that would help lend it a little bit more to being like you are the embodiment of all 4 horses of Apocalypse, which I think is what they're doing, is what they're going for. But if I'm wrong, please tell me. Right now, it just kind of feels like you're playing a fire melee druid from D2, but it is fun. It's pretty strong. We're gonna grind here until about level 25, then head over to Stockades and finish the grind out there. All right, guys, we are level 25. We made our way to the Stockades. Thank you for the person who helped summon me. Really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and see what this class feels like at level 25. I gotta say, going through Wailing Caverns, it was really starting to pick up, so I'm hoping that this feels the same way in Stockades. The ability we unlocked, I think at level either 24 or 25, I believe it was 25, was Meat Saw. 25 rage instant, 6-second cooldown, swing a giant meat saw in an arc, dealing physical damage and applying the torn flesh bleed effect to all enemies within 8 yards, dealing additional physical damage over time. The names are a little silly. They're a little too cheesy. If they're going for campy silliness, okay, I get it, but it's hard to take the class seriously if I'm being totally honest. But let's see what this class looks like at level 25 against Stockades. Here we go. Let's get my Pestilence of War up. Okay, there's the meat saw. Get my Pestilence up again. There we go. Do the flames, do another meat saw. Heal again. Okay, not bad. Not too bad. A little rough. The two pack is definitely a little bit harder than the 1 pack, but not too bad. The thing I do really appreciate about the Knight of Zorath is the sustain mechanic. So you get a lot of rage, you use your Pestilence of War. If I believe you're in Herald of War and you consume Hellscream, you get like a large bonus to HP. You get a heal, and then you can reapply Pestilence to continue leeching things around you. So you have this nice give and take leech mechanic that really helps sustain the class in a really nice way. I can't say that I'm overly blown away by the class as far as power. It is consistent and very sustainable, but I wouldn't really put it up there with maybe like the Ranger, the Monk, the Cultist, the Starcaller. There's a lot of things that are like objectively stronger as far as a class at this point, but at level 30 it might pick up, so we're going to continue grinding here to see what this looks like at max level. Just hit level 30 with the Knight of Zorath. The ability we unlocked at level 30 is Hell Haul. 1 minute cooldown, instant, 10-yard range, pretty close. You bind an enemy target with magical hellfire. Every 0.25 seconds for the duration, the target will suffer some physical damage and be dragged towards you. The target cannot move for the duration of this effect. That is missing a period, guys, so put that in there if you can. Targets that cannot be stunned or rooted cannot be dragged either, so it's going to hit 4 times a second. That seems pretty beefy. Let's see if we unlocked anything else. I don't believe we actually did. The other one we did unlock was the Pestilence of Famine. That was like level 26. You summon the Pestilence of Famine upon yourself for 30 seconds, reducing movement speed of all nearby enemies by 50%. I'd imagine this is kind of the PvP Pestilence to use. Using Hellscream will consume this Pestilence to stun nearby enemies for 3 seconds. Only 1 Pestilence may be active at a time. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna see what this looks like, these guys. So let's go ahead and hell haul them away. We'll see what it does. Oh, I mean, it did a whole bunch of damage. That's cool. The visual is kind of silly looking. I'm gonna try it again on this single guy here. I gotta say the damage of the class isn't insane. I do really love Infernal Strike though. I really wish this was kind of the centerpiece of the kit instead of these like kind of cheesy, helly, flesh hooky, consume corpse things. If he was more of an elemental warrior, I think it'd be way cooler, because I don't know if this can stack the Hellfire, but I believe it can. So if you can generate a whole bunch of rage, you could stack this up to do some pretty crazy damage, I think. So let's go ahead and just kill this guy real quick. Overall, the class feels fine. I wouldn't say it's abusively strong. I really wouldn't say it's OP either. I think they hit the nail on the head with the balance so far. Okay, let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna yank him. Hey, come here, bitch. Haha. Okay. Didn't do a crazy amount of damage. Not too bad. Okay. I mean, my final thoughts on the Knight of Zorath, it's good. It's definitely solid. I wouldn't say it's anything that I would really write home about. The whole Apocalypse 4 Horsemen thing, it's not quite there. You're more like a vampire flesh-eating fire warrior. It isn't quite there on any of the fronts, so I wish they'd kind of focus it on one thing. But again, of course, we haven't unlocked our abilities, so that might change given the fact that in Phase 3, we're going to unlock all of our talent books and see what this class actually looks like at later levels. But that's going to be it for this video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, subscribe below for more content. I will see you in the next one.